Oh my God, this actually worked.
Oh my God, this actually worked.
All right. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I won't be able to share my screen in the way that I was actually trying to do. I was trying to share my screen so I can show you, excuse me, some of the astrological points that's happening about this Russia war kicking off with Putin in the Ukraine. It's really unfortunate my screen won't share. I've just been trying to do this for the last 40 minutes. So we're going to leave it alone and we're just going to speak raw compassion because I literally have a freaking bag over there that's packed that I'm supposed to be doing. But the world needs leaders. All right. And this is why I'm here to speak about this. Not necessarily the events itself. The events are what they are. Okay. They exist. Things are happening. And it's obviously not pretty. What I'm here to do today is to make sure that we are able to do our part. And so, what do I mean when I say do our part? Each and every single one of you have a resume. All right. And I'm looking at this in the moment as like your birth chart. All right. Your birth chart is your resume. It's showing you your skill sets. It's showing you what you're not the best at and where you may be able to delegate certain skills that you have. Check your resume, understand your chart because the world needs leaders. And when you look at what's happening with Russia and Ukraine right now, the whole "I told you so" with all the astrologers being able to say something like that right now, honestly, is completely irrelevant. What I think is irrelevant, or what I think is relevant, is how serious we need to take this matter. I'm happy to see people voting saying that they're not scared. And I will be honest, if you say you were scared, I honest to God wouldn't judge you. Because here's the simple reality Vladimir Putin is really not a joke. He does not play. All right. He has never played. Any Russian that I've ever met in my life while traveling, they don't play. And there's something different within the culture that we really need to put into play. And the simple reality is like he's serious. All right. Recognize that this attack that was struck on Ukraine, broad in nature from different angles, 3, 4, 5 different angles, the bombings and etc. We need to really understand and break something down. He's not a joke. And he sat there, he came on, he said, anybody that's going to interfere, he is claiming war. Listen, our own personal president of the United States, Biden, right now, was supposed to be already giving an hour ago a live update on what is the United States position going to be. And he pushed that back an hour and a half. The reason, what's the reason? What's the why? Because even our own country, the United States, understands very well that this is not the fucker that you play with. Okay. So what am I saying? NATO forces, allies that are willing to help. Who is this? The US, I think Ireland. I'm not sure all of the NATO forces, but recognize that we're in the very brink of something much bigger than two countries going at it head to head, because this has nothing to do about Ukraine essentially about to get pummeled by the superpower of Russia. Mind you, these are farmers and everyday working citizens in Ukraine who are taking shooting classes on the weekend in preparation for the strikes that a world-class military like Russia under Putin's control is basically having their door knocked on by this man and this particular power that Russia maintains. So what am I saying? Ukraine, 2014, they were also invaded, and you know what? They were blindsided, and it was ugly. They're not as blindsided today, and it's still going to be just as ugly. And the thing is, we need to understand that war never is really going to be pretty. People dying is a very serious thing. It's ugly, okay? It's literally spiritual suicide. When you start killing such people in such masses, we need to check in with the psychological disorder within the world. We start taking this shit real serious. And I really think you need to start checking in on your personal resume. And I'm gonna say, like, literally checking with your own astrology chart. Start learning what are your creative strengths. Start learning what can you do to do your part. Generally, wherever Aquarius is gonna lie or Aries is gonna lie, these are some of the revolutionaries, the people that are gonna go ahead and go to war with that particular part of their life to stand up for the little guy. Okay, Leos, wherever Leo, Aquarius, Aries sits in your chart, we need to start checking in on these pieces and realize that it's very important for you to throw some prayers up. It's very important for you as an individual who's not in the country, who's not directly under attack, to realize that this is an expanded reality very soon. The tensions that are at bay at the moment, you better believe this shit is global. I'm here and I wonder why God put me back on US territory for 4 months, and it was like so confused. And I really wasn't. And when I got here, when I've been here, what am I saying? You know, I'm 7 minutes away from a military installation base, and I'm connected in some sense to talking to the military forces, even here in the state that I'm currently in. And I've asked them through different conversations and at dinner and at lunch. I said, "Do you believe that a civil war is possible and even likely anytime soon on U.S. territory?" And I quite frankly knew my answer. I knew what I was thinking. I knew where I was at with it, but I was looking to take in the minds of other military soldiers. And they're very much in denial about the possible reality of civil war being and coming and happening on U.S. territory. And what I'm saying is like we need to be very serious and take a unified approach to what is happening in Russia with the Ukraine and these escalating circumstances. This does not end here. We need to really start recognizing through history, how does World War One, how does World War Two, and how will World War Three start? Okay, at a certain point, whether we are alive or dead when it happens, a World War Three will happen. And we need to recognize the escalated nature of this battle currently going on and being raged on Ukraine, who quite frankly cannot defend themselves by themselves, no matter with their weekend training that they're doing to learn how to shoot a gun against a world power, aka Russia. Vladimir Putin is not a joke. He's a very serious man. And the thing I know about masculine energy in general is any male, any masculine energy that has conviction in their heart, aka Vladimir Putin, is a very dangerous person to more than the people that seem to be only in the eyes of the immediate threat. So what am I saying? I'm saying that you need to come out here and you need to do your part. For me in this moment, like me looking to do my part is just like, okay, at best I can, I'm not some mega superstar on YouTube, but at best I can, I know that I operate and help develop high powered people. And it may not be me in my specific word, but whoever the 1 or 6 of you that are currently live on me right now, it may just be me helping you to unlock something within you, whether you're new or already existing, so that you somehow have the connection or the power or the skill to do your part. If you're an artist right now, do your part. This might be painting a mural and posting it on your social media platforms, or however it may be simple. It may be next level and like you sending this to different families out in the Ukraine as a form of support to say like, look, we got your back some way, somehow. If you're creative and you have that emotional current inside of you that feels something, you feel an urge to go ahead and speak up, go ahead and drop a music, dedicate something to lift up the spirits of the people who are currently facing a tremendous battle, facing adversity versus one of the world superpowers, Vladimir Putin, who a man of conviction at the head of this helm, and Russia, a world superpower who has the power to bang with any nation in the world. We need to start checking in, taking a moment to take inventory and realize that Russia's ready to bang with anybody in the globe, and that includes the US. All right? That includes China. They are ready to go at it. And he obviously is not playing. And he very clearly said anybody who interferes you're going to come see me. We need to like really recognize and take real inventory that nothing right now is more important than these couple things that I'm going to list. Number one, whatever, I said this 4 years ago. I came home from Asia. I told my family, I said, whatever liberties you think you have, you better go ahead and start exercising them, because these liberties will not be yours very soon. Whatever liberties you think you have, you better start exercising them. Whatever you know you need to do, you better start going ahead and doing it, because your liberties are being foreshadowed right in your fucking face right now. And each and every one of you that think that you're safe because you're not in the Ukraine, because you're not in Russia, I need you to go ahead and take a moment to take a psychological inventory about how serious this is and how likely it is. No one with power stops their conquest at the victory. No one who's hungry and has psychological and Machiavelli type syndromes, narcissistic type syndrome, they don't stop. Once you get your grade A supply of energy and whatever gave you a sense of power, false power, or whatever, you don't end it there. What leader have you seen in history? Think Alexander the Great, that goes through and just stops at the one conquest. Okay, great. They fuck up and take over Ukraine. What's next? We need to start thinking ahead more. We need to start supporting each other and humanity effectively by not thinking that you don't have the power to do anything. By not thinking that you're so far away that your voice doesn't matter. We need to fully recognize right now Lilith and the midhaven is in Gemini, which is saying what? That this news and media is publicly being and showing us the adaptable nature of the damage we can do with our voice. Gemini has a sword, and its sword, it cuts with its words, it cuts with its art. And this is collectively for all of us. This Lilith in Gemini and the midhaven right now in Gemini 10th house, this is public image, public relations. We have the public possibility to speak with our particular media platforms. This is third house. This is Gemini. Well, like I'm actively doing right now, urging you, whether you watch this live or in replay, urging you to use your voice, to use your art, to use your individual Gemini skill sets to push a message, the one that feels right within your heart, to make sure that you don't think standing by and watching Vladimir Putin wage war on Ukraine is okay. That man just launched a broad-scale attack and legitimately warned any NATO influence, any ally who interferes, that he's going to fuck them up. Listen to what I just said. Vladimir Putin is very live, very active, and a manic eviction. And he literally said, I will fuck you up if you interfere with my affairs and my business dealings and this ass whooping that I'm going to give Ukraine. Conviction. He's not the one that turns around. You've never met a Russian person who fucking walks back on their word. This is the type of man who, no matter what the influence that comes as a follow-up, he will make sure that he follows through. We need to look at history. We need to recognize what happened with Adolf Hitler. Where the fuck do you think these things start from? We need to start checking in with history. We need to start looking at fucking Mussolini. Look back, check your history, do your fact checking. This is Gemini on the 10th house. Do your fact checking, take in the knowledge, do a little research. Why is this stuff happening? What's going on? How can your media outlet go ahead and spread the word, spread awareness? What is your creative talent? What is going to be the way that you go ahead and show up and do something for more than just yourself? to stop being so selfish and thinking that you're fucking safe. You're not. Pluto is going to blow up over Capricorn. Pluto and Capricorn is going to blow up over the US very soon. We're at 27 degrees. If we're thinking right now that only shit's happening over there in Ukraine and US, well, did you forget that Pluto's next implosion is over the United States? Y'all think that that's going to leave y'all feeling y'all going to be safe? Is that what y'all, because they don't even have Pluto going on over there. They got that shit happening on top of the US. And that's permanent transformation. This is raw power being expressed. There's no going back. Listen. From what I understand, somebody said, I think at the top of this chat, that Putin has his Pluto conjunct his midheaven. Okay. This is showing his power publicly. You've seen, literally, Pluto, power, publicly, midheaven. He's publicly exercising his right to say, I am going to exercise my power. Potentially just because. The reason doesn't matter. What does matter is that we do our part. And you don't have to know what that is. Quite frankly, I'm talking to you right now. I don't know what that is. All I know is that I have to go up and speak up because I didn't sleep well last night. And I feel that tension and I feel those far cries. The people in Ukraine, they're scared. And I see people have voted already here that they're not scared. Well, let me ask you this again. If today on US territory, Putin had that same strike, multiple bombings happening off in the US on our land, would you have been scared? Would you still have voted no? Or are you only not afraid because you think that it's so far away? Warfare in today's world is not shooting and guns and violence of that status. Warfare today is psychological. Your impact is happening now. Warfare today is digital. Your impact is happening today and now. And this is going to link to when Pluto implodes over the US. Now, that's going to primarily be more so with the banking system, and the financial crash is going to happen, probably worse than what the Great Depression did, at least from what I can see. But understand what happens as you follow up money not being so available to a people, the US citizens, where money was always so available. What the fuck do you think happens then? You've already seen some glimpses of what people are willing to do just from the Black Lives Matter movement. And that's only one race out of the entire 350 million people in the US that was having strife going at them in a moment. That was one race. So what happens when all the races, aka attack on US soil, happens? Will you be scared then? Will you still vote? No, I'm not afraid. And if so, there's 4 people that put this vote on there. There's a yes option, there's a no option, and there's an option that says I'm ready to contribute. So we're just going to end at no, I'm not afraid, and we're not willing to contribute. So we're just going to end. We're going to pretend that the I'm ready to contribute is not there. This is showing the psychological warfare that's already happening. We really need to get our head in the game. We need to stop pretending that you're safe. You stop pretending that your liberties are always going to be there. And you stop pretending that whatever money you think you got in the bank is actually secure. You need to stop pretending that that you're the right for your child to just go to school. Listen, if you've never left the country, especially if you're a US citizen, if you've never left the country, I'm telling you right now, the level of ignorance by default of you just not understanding what the world outside of watching something through a television or a fucking YouTube video about what might be happening in Ukraine or what might be happening in Italy or what might be happening in Colombia or what might be happening in Indonesia. This is the issue. We're so far detached. Being able to sit behind these screens with these trigger fingers that we can't even recognize the actual sincerity of Russia going ahead and dropping bombs and strikes on Ukraine territory. We really are so dissociated from the fact and the reality that somebody's going to be next when they get their ass wiped. And this man boldly came out there and literally said, anybody that interferes, I will fuck you up. My best bet, my biggest ask of you now is to start to think a little bit more outside of yourself. Whatever priorities you have, whatever worries and concerns you have, if they're only within you, they're only in your own head, and those worries have nothing to do with the survival and evolution of people and humanity, people in the world, can we not see how far gone the world has become? Look at your weather patterns alone. Places where it's never snowed, it's freaking ice storms. Places where it's always hot, it's butt naked cold, and the wind is cutting your skin. Our planet is going through a cleanse, and it will win. Nature will win. Every time nature has won. Just look at the history. Look at the history. We keep thinking that there's not going to be consequences when we dump oil in the ocean. We keep thinking that there's going to not be consequences when we keep turning a side eye and we just allow an entire civilization to get wiped off the planet just because somebody feels like it for no real reason. Just going to wage war. Y'all got to all check in real quick with your own internal motivations about why you think you exist on this planet. Is it really just as shallow as what color sunglasses you have? And if the designer brand is able to top the last designer brand you had? Let me check this comment. How about if having a positive mindset is helping Ukraine? Absolutely. Here's the magic, right? Here's the magic. There are plenty of people out there with a positive mindset. I fully and well believe that. There are plenty of people currently, actively, right now. I myself, quite frankly, am one of them. Even just me. And I have this from just looking at what's going to keep happening as the charts moves forward. Like I'm looking at some astrological standpoint. It's like these relations are going to find some peaceful resolutions. Like that's already in the charts. I'm not necessarily fully addressing the fact that I know that this is going to work out for the better in the long run, no matter what it looks like up front. What I'm addressing is in the future. I'm today in this moment right now, I'm talking a couple steps ahead of the actual event that we're talking about with Russia invading Ukraine. I'm talking more so about this is a foreshadow. This is a foreshadow, especially for anybody that feels entirely safe, as if this cannot happen on your land, no matter what country you're in right now. If you're thinking, I don't care if you're in Germany right now, you're in Colombia, in the US, I don't care where you're at. If you have the mindset of this will never happen to me, I think there's something that we really need to wake up with. The positive mindset that I'm able to take on this is that I'm trying to help is whatever liberties you have, go ahead and exercise them. If you wanted to kiss that girl, now's the time. If you wanted to buy your mom a gift, but you never thought you could because you didn't have the money, go ahead and buy it anyways. Trust that the universe will pull that gift back and pay you tenfold with full abundance. If you wanted to take that trip abroad, but you've never taken it, take it. This is the positive mindset that I'm looking to kind of push right now. It's like, go ahead and do you. Understand that this war does not end here. The most positive mindset I choose to take in this moment is take this as an opportunity to live your life, to stop playing so safe, to take a risk, to do something that you actually want to do, not what you think your mom or your coworker expects you to do. Take the positive mindset. Like I said, Gemini right now is on the midhaven and talk about your thoughts of what's happening. Are you okay with it? Are you not okay with it? How might you contribute? What skill do you have? Is it your voice? Is it just your ability to be present with somebody? Each and every single one of you have some sort of a gift, some sort of a superpower. And that power can literally be presence, the ability to listen to somebody and be solid as a rock. That's a gift. The ability to go out there and just start screaming your truth, your personal truth, and taking the mask off and saying, this is not right. Here's what I plan to do, contribute, and offer. That might be your gift. To go on YouTube and start, bare minimum, stirring up some conversation and think for yourself, well, in what way can I be a leader? Even if that's not publicly out loud, even if I don't have to visually show my face. My voice actually is powerful behind closed doors on a podcast. Okay. My positive outlook on this is not necessarily about the war itself. If you notice, like, I'm not necessarily talking, this has been happening for a grip. I'm not talking about this every day. My personal craft is to put people from the positive mindset in understanding with themselves by understanding their chart, by understanding the nature of them, of their gifts, by understanding the nature of their blind spots, their challenges, but also in what ways they can attract abundance. This is happening on a daily. This is my positive expression on it. Now, at the same time, anybody that's out there in the space of being a leader who chooses to remain silent in the face of adversity, violence, or fucking foolery, like, I beg the question of what sort of leader is this? To not use their platform, to not use their influence to speak on something. This is no different than, an influencer not speaking up about when Black Lives Matter was like at the height of its existence, or when women are being raped and, Me Too, and not speaking on their take, whether that's good, bad, or it doesn't matter. What position you take doesn't matter. But understand that by taking no position at all, you also have made your choice. By choosing to stay silent and shut up, you've also made your choice, even if that choice is made for you. By March 2nd, you can check the Pisces new moon video that I put up last night. By March 2nd, um, the relationships on a global scale should start to find some smoother resolutions. So that's about 8 days from now. But understand that a lot can happen in 8 days. And what I would like to say on here is recognize this as a foreshadow of the possibilities and a moment for all of your hidden desires to start to be expressed, whatever that is. You want to have a threesome and you never have? Go ahead and go get it. You want to start an ice cream shop? You feel like you got the recipe? Go ahead and start that thing. Take a risk on yourself. Be loyal to your gifts, to your expression, to your way to contribute to society, whatever that is. You want to go to Africa and purify the water and create drills and pumps? Go ahead. Start it. This is the most positive take that I can give out today. Because what's happening is wrong, no matter if we can really resonate, which, let's be honest, if none of us have been attacked on our own soil, aka the US has not been attacked on its own soil with bombs, none of us can really relate. But don't let that detached reality make you so aloof that you think that it's not possible, that you don't defend in some capacity these underdogs, being in Ukraine in this moment against a superpower, against a man of conviction, Vladimir Putin. Because when our turn comes, recognize that you're going to want that support. So just be mindful before you turn your eye and think, wow, this sucks for them. Because one day we might just need their hand. I'll see you soon.